Okay, huge news. So, well, let me show you something. So on March 16th, which is tomorrow, by the way, Monday, I'm going to, when I go to work, I'm gonna go talk to my boss, and I'm going to set a meeting with him and talk to him about how I would like to switch to part-time or contract work with the company. I decided now's the time. I just cannot, I think, progress how I want to and explore other things like I'd like to unless I cut down my hours drastically. So, you know, I typically was working a 40-hour work week. I'd like to cut it basically in half. I'm gonna tell him I want to work about 20 hours a week, and we'll see what happens. Now, of course, there's gonna be the chance where he just says no, and I decided I'm just gonna have to leave them, and I'm going to just find another part-time job then to hold me over. There's just no way I'm gonna stay full-time. If you saw my other video, I show you how I schedule out everything and I try to get everything done, but even then, no matter what I do, I only have 2 to 3 hours a night where I could, you know, either take an online class or explore other things, or, you know, it's gonna be such a slow process, as opposed to if I cut my hours down, then I could, you know, it's just gonna take me there faster to whatever my next career should be, or whatever the next thing I should be doing, you know? And two people really pushed me to this decision and really opened my eyes. Well, the first thing that opened my eyes was doing that last video I posted where I filmed myself for the entire week at work and just saw my face and how depressed I looked. And that really made me realize I need to get out of there. It's not healthy for me. There are 2 other people that really helped me make this decision. So one person's Jen Smith, and I mentioned her in another video, I believe, with the Freedom Leap. So once again, her website is thefreedomleap.co.ck. But she had sent me this video through Facebook because I was kind of expressing how I was feeling. And the one video she has is what to do when you're scared to stay put but terrified to move forward. And she goes through this whole thing of how you kind of are going to weigh, you know, the pros and cons basically of staying at this job or leaving it. And so she first has you fill out a list of the pros and cons of staying at the job, and then the pros and cons of leaving, because they are really 2 separate things. And there are always going to be pros and cons for everything, is how I see it. You know, there's going to be pros to staying at this job, and then there's going to be cons to leaving it. Even though I really want to leave it, there's still going to be cons there too. But you really have to weigh the cons of each and see, well, what's worse? And I finally realized the cons would be, I obviously make less money, but that's really it. I would just make less money. I think that's the only really big con I can think of, and it's just, I guess it's just a little scary to not have that secure full-time job with all the benefits it comes with and stuff like that. But then the cons of staying is the fact that I'm making myself unhealthier and healthier every single day by just being there, just unhealthy for the mind and both the body as well, because I'm just sitting there. And I think that's more important. So I highly suggest you check out her video. She goes through way more detail than I'm explaining of how to do this. Then the other person I'd like to talk about is Rikke Hensen, and she is also sort of like, they're both kind of like career coaches. With Rikke Hensen, she came out with a video on YouTube that says, career change, when is the right time to change your career? And she goes through actually a lot of explanations, so I highly recommend you check out this video as well. But there's one really important spot in the video where she has these 2 sayings. And the first one is, remember, it's equally risky to stay in a job you no longer enjoy because it impacts your performance and your reputation. And that's totally true, because you know, I've been falling asleep at work lately. I've been getting less done. You know, if I don't have care in it, I'm just simply not gonna accomplish as much. So I'm lowering my reputation. I'm starting to look like a lazy person, an uncaring person, when really that's not who I am. It's just I happen to not care about this type of work that I'm doing. But really outside of that, I'm very compassionate, I'm very hardworking. So really just staying there is just hurting me that way. Then the other thing she says is start your plan B at your earliest opportunity. Do something and get the ball rolling. And the way I see that is if I start sooner, it's just going to get me there sooner. So there's never going to be a convenient time for me to just leave my job. It's never going to be convenient for anyone, really, unless they have a perfect job lined up for them that they can just jump right into that one. But most people are not going to have that. They're going to leave their job, and then there's going to be this space where they don't have work, and it's just going to be a whole mess. It's always more convenient to stay where you are. But just because it's more convenient does not mean it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter if I'm going to quit my job now, I'm going to quit my job next year. It's still going to be the same issues I'm dealing with. It's never going to get better. I'm always going to have that fear of losing that steady income. I mean, that's just how it's always going to be. So why not just do it now? Just do it now, and I'll get closer to exploring other things and getting closer to finding what my real career should be. And I hope you guys watch these videos and take their advice. They're really smart women. And I will definitely do another video update tomorrow when I come home from work and tell you how the meeting went. I am nervous, but more excited. I've actually been purposely telling as many people as possible my plan, just so that it makes me do it even more, because if I didn't tell anyone and I didn't do it, I'd be like, well, whatever, no one knew I was going to do that, so whatever. But the fact that I basically told every single friend, everyone I knew, that I was planning on telling my boss that, I want to switch to part-time or just at least lessen my hours somehow, now I'm held accountable. Now I have to do it, right? So I will let you know. All right.